across the plains. WCBH is on the go. Join us as we walk the Camino.
Day 35, El Acebo to Ponferrada. Around about the 16 kilometres. We're doing this recording at the end of the day, and we've got some interesting accommodation for tonight, don't we?
We do. You never guess where we're staying.
Well, we're in an albergue, but we wanted a private room, so what they've given us is the whole dorm to ourselves, and what is it? It's a mini dorm, I suppose, of 7 beds, 3 bunk beds and 1 single bed. Very much a functional type space where the shower is a push button shower. And what do you think? You get 20 seconds?
20 seconds.
Before that shuts off. But it is our own private dormitory, so the 3 of us have got our space here. I'm feeling very dehydrated this afternoon. Temperature-wise, probably didn't start as cold as it has done recently, and it did get hot, but not so hot that we couldn't handle the temperature or anything like that. But I just feel that it was fairly intense sun today, and I'm feeling. I put sun cream on this morning. Had a floppy hat on and everything, but I am feeling a little bit dehydrated, a little bit sunburned, possibly a little bit windburned, but I don't think the wind was that strong today.
No, the wind wasn't that strong. It was definitely very hot this afternoon. We were out on the trail coming into Ponferrada, just exposed to the sun. No trees, no buildings, nothing, just on the trail in the sun.
It's probably a good word to use. Yeah, we were fairly exposed to the elements. Coming out of El Acebo, we were just descending.
Yes.
And although 16 kilometres is not a huge distance, now that we're finally trained, it's not a huge distance, but when you're coming down at that steep of an angle, the descent, and it's all loose underneath. There's like fixed rocks that are sort of jagged, and then there's loose rocks as well. I don't know. It's a real ankle breaker type descent if you had a misstep or you weren't concentrating. So we came down fairly slowly, fairly carefully. Fortunately, I don't think we rolled an ankle. We certainly didn't break an ankle. I don't think we even fell over, but it is that sort of place where one misstep could be the end of your Camino.
Yes. It had been described as quite a scary descent. I actually found the day before coming into El Acebo worse. I thought the big rocks, like big river rocks that were loose on top of other rock, quite dangerous. Like you could skate down that slope. I almost slid a few times, but today it was a big jagged rock, and maybe it's because it was the second day we had a bit more of a handle on it, but there was also those deep gullies where sometimes you had 1 foot on either side and you were going down. It was still quite beautiful up there. It was really nice up in those mountains, those mountain towns.
I think you made the comment at some stage during the day that you were getting sad because we were coming out of these beautiful mountain towns heading towards Ponferrada, and we're kind of back in an industrial suburbia type town out of the, I don't know, the quite romanticised type mountain towns of the last few days.
They were gorgeous. We've been spoiled. The last few days have been these gorgeous mountain towns, each one with a really good atmosphere. And as we're coming down into Molina Seca, I was like, I didn't even want to go down there. I was like, I'd just stay up here because it's so pretty. Everywhere you looked were mountains, but we got into Molina Seca and it was a beautiful town as well.
It was nice. Now, it's Good Friday here. We had thought everything would be closed. We'd spoken to a few other pilgrims who had walked the Camino before. and the lady at breakfast, she was adamant,
Yes.
have a big breakfast and pack something because there'll be nothing will be open. Everything was, well, not all the cafes were open. We were carrying all this extra weight in our packs, all this extra food. We didn't have an issue getting tea, coffee, colacao, tortilla, supermercado. It's not like it was open, regular trading in terms of other businesses, but in terms of the cafes and the bars, there was no issue, was there?
No, I was really surprised. And even one of the small villages had put out food for pilgrims with a donation. So I remember we were discussing, should we buy some fruit here or not? There's going to be nothing. But we got in and everything was open and all the locals were out and they were all eating as well. So
we had a bit of a find today. You found a new chocolate bar that you liked.
yes, I did.
Now, if you know the crunch bar that we used to get with like those little rice bubble type crunch in the chocolate, it's that sort of texture, but tastes like you're eating a chocolate bar of Nutella.
It does.
This is a good find. Have you got a name?
I think it's Kovaran.
We need to get it in Australia. It's that good.
It's very thick too. Like, I was wondering what was the weight in my bag, and I think that was it.
Well, it's about half its weight now because we've opened it not long ago, and I think half the block's gone already. But it is good chocolate.
Very good chocolate.
We've been booking ahead. We've booked our accommodation all the way through to Saria, and then in the next day or two we will book from Saria through to Santiago, where we're getting closer to the final stretch now. Kilometres wise, we're still just sitting above 200 kilometres, about 210 at the moment.
Yeah, around there. Can check for you if you like.
So 210 kilometres.
No, we're below 210.
204.5. So let's round that to 200 kilometres.
Yes.
Roughly 10 days of 20 kilometres a day, and we're there. Throw in a rest day in Saria. So we're there probably in 11 days, maybe 12, because there was a few awkward days when it came to booking that we couldn't get something at 20 kilometres, but the next town was too far, so we've gone back, etc. So we're getting into the final stretch. We're nearly there. Will we get to revisit some mountain villages? Someone said this afternoon as we were walking in that there's more beauty to come. In fact, that they thought what we're about to go through is even more beautiful than what we've been through.
There's another mountain pass we need to do. I think it's in a couple of days. O Sobrero. It's not as high as what we've done. And I think that's what they were talking about, that from up there, all the villages down they thought were more beautiful than what we've been through. It's pretty hard to top what we've just been through, though. They were idyllic villages and very friendly, very really nice atmosphere. So if they are, I'll be glad of that. If it's more of what we're seeing now, coming through this town, like going from suburb to suburb, yeah, we might be more 10 days than 11.
Sure. All right, well, that's day 35. We're here in Ponferrada. Stay with us. We've got about another 10 to 12 days of this to go.
The rain in Spain stays mainly in the... Step by step through the sun and rain, over mountains, across the plains. WCBH is on the go. Join us as we walk the Camino.